Welcome to another ABC University training session. In this section, we're going to cover the suspension of the manhole coaches. Warning, do not remove the inline filter with the air system pressurized. Never retighten bolts, screws, or nuts that are fitted with locking adhesive, as this would destroy locking properties. Do not spray lubricant on or between the spring leaves. Lubricant and grease damage the rubber of the spring carrier and arms. Here we have an example of your dash controls for the suspension. First, you have your rear raise and your front kneeler. Here we show you an example of your air suspense diagram. Here we show you an example of your suspension diagram if you were in normal ride height. This is an example of how your air system would look if you were kneeling the coach. And this is an example with the coach kneeled recover, rear raise, and this is tag unloading. Identification of your air suspension components. Starting at the top left, you have your line filter, leveling valve, airbag, 3 two-way valve electrically operated, 4 two-way valve electrically operated, your 3 two-way valve pneumatically operated made by Wabco, your 3 two-way valve pneumatically operated, double check valve, single check valve, overflow valve with limited return, and muffler. Location of your air suspension components. First, we have our leveling valve. Air spring is number 2. Kneeling system compressed air tanks, number 3. Number 4, compressed air valves of the raising system, lowering system, and rear raising system. Accessories of the compressed air tank, number 5. Number 6, rear raising system. Number 7 is your line filter. And number 8, compressed air valves of the kneeling system. To check operation of your air suspension visually, normal operating pressure in the air system, between 115 to 130 psi. Vehicle needs to be on level ground. Visually check that normal body ground clearance is maintained at both ends and sides of the vehicle. The body should never lean over. To check air spring height, equipment conditions. Empty vehicle on a flat level surface over an inspection pit. Tires equally worn and at the correct inflation pressure. Air system charged to maximum operating pressure. Let the engine idle. Vehicles equipped with a kneeling, a raising, or lowering system, air suspension in normal ride position. Which air spring should be checked? Check height of left air spring front suspension at a height equal to 11.26 plus 0.4 of an inch. Height of left and right rear air springs of drive axle suspension at height equals 11 plus 0.4 of an inch. To adjust air spring height, vehicle on a flat level surface over an inspection pit. Again, air system filled to maximum operating pressure. And again, let the engine idle. Disconnect connection rod off the bottom anchor of bracket. Lower the body by pulling the rod downward, which will deflate the airbag. Slowly move the rod up to inflate the airbag. As soon as correct height setting is obtained, instantly return leveling valve actuating rod to its horizontal position to stop inflation. While retaining the valve actuating lever in a horizontal position, secure the connection rod to the bottom attachment bracket. Test drive the vehicle on a curvy track and readjust the height of the air springs if necessary. Check leveling valve and air springs for leaks. Make sure there's 115 to 130 psi of pressure in the air tanks. Step 1. Check the rubber protection cover, number 1, on the exhaust of the valve and spray soapy water on it. Look for soap bubbles. If the valve leaks, remove it for repair. Check leveling valve and air spring for leaks. Again, make sure there's 115 to 130 psi pressure in the air tanks. Coat the bag, beads, and sidewalls with a soapy solution to check the air tightness of the bag. No soap bubbles should appear. Demount leaking bags from the suspension for further inspection. To clean or change line filters. Warning: do not remove the filter with the air system pressurized. Release pressure from the air system by actuating drain valve on accessories air tank. Disconnect air lines from filter body and remove filter. Disassemble filter body and vise. Clean or change filter screen. Reassemble new or clean filter screen into filter body. Apply thin film of special grease to new gasket. Reinstall filter in airlines. Part numbers for rebuilding the inline filter are above next to the picture. In this slide we show you locations of the lined filters. It's located in the compartment below the driver on the frame, behind the front bumper. And this line filter is located at the front wall of the drive axle above the service brake relay valve. Checking the shock absorber. You want to look for fatigues, cracks on rubber, damage at housing, and for oil leaks. For your valves, you have V024, which is your kneeler, V036, stop kneeler, V543 is your horn, and V540 is your steering wheel lock. Your front kneeler sensor mounts on the right front axle below the airbag, as shown here in the slide. Your kneeler sensor adjustment should be between 3 and 4/10 of an inch, as shown in the picture. In this slide, we show you your front suspension. We have the breakdown of your drive suspension. And here we have the breakaway of your front and tag control arms. And here we can show you a lack of maintenance in the picture where somebody did not torque down the bolts for this suspension component. And that's going to conclude this training session. And so in summary, we covered suspension components, your air suspense diagram as it relates to kneeling, kneeling recover, rear raising, and tag unloaded. We also covered adjusting the suspension components. And this is going to conclude our training. For questions regarding this webcast, please contact ABC's Technical Service Department at 877-427-7278. Listen for the prompts for Coach Technical Support and select the appropriate option. Support is available at this number 24/7.